Adding the 5 vocal foundations is like writing music. How do you apply this in a conversational setting, Vin? Or is this only meant for presentation and keynote speeches? This is my philosophy when it comes to communication skills in life. I love this quote by Shakespeare where he says, "All of the world is a stage." The way I interpret that for me is that in this life of ours, we are stepping on many different stages. When I walk into the studio, I'm stepping onto the stage as a teacher for all of you. When I wake up in the morning and I walk into my son's room, I'm stepping onto the stage as a father in that context. Then when I go downstairs, make my wife a coffee, I'm stepping on stage as a husband. And then when I connect with my team, then I'm stepping on stage as a dictator. No, I'm kidding. As a leader, right? So I get onto that stage as a leader. And then when I am in my community, I'm stepping onto the stage as a community member. What you've got to appreciate here is that it depends on which stages are important to you. So if there's a stage that's not important to you and you don't really care, well, then you don't have to use any of your foundations. There are some stages in my life, and those stages are sometimes when I'm just ordering a burger. When I'm ordering a burger, I'm not infusing all these different vocal foundations and I'm not using different vocal archetypes. I'm just, hey, how you going? Can I just get a double cheeseburger? Yep. And I'd love to get a Coke Zero with that, and maybe I'll go the curly fries. Got to get some curly fries. That's all I'll do. Because on that particular stage, I'm not looking to be that impactful, nor am I looking to be that influential. Not really, right? So again, there are some very low stakes stages. There are some stages that are not as important as others. But here's where the painful point occurred for me. This is when I changed my philosophy and changed the way I started to view life and communication skills. I used to show up on stage, like a literal stage, as a keynote speaker, and I'd bring the best damn version of myself. I would play all of my foundations, and I'd give you the best damn version of Vin I could. I'll be vocally dynamic, I'll be present, I'll use my voice, my body language, everything. And then do you know what I did? I would then leave the studio, go back into the house with my family, and then I'd give them the flattest version of Vin ever. I just kind of go in and I'll be like, oh, hey, yeah, sorry, I just finished the virtual masterclass, and yeah, it was good. Yeah, no, it was good. Yeah, I had a good time. And then even with my kids, I would give them the flattest version of me. And it wasn't until I came across that quote by Shakespeare that made me really reevaluate this. That the most important stages to me, and I'm not saying this to disrespect any of you or anything, but the most important stage for me is when I step onto the stage as a father, as a husband. It's also important to me when I step onto the stage as a teacher. So I do bring the best version of me. And is it exhausting? Yes, it's tiring. It's hard. But that's why I practice. It's why I develop my communication fitness. It's why I raise my standards in different areas of my life. It's why I have higher expectations for myself in different areas of my life. It's hard, but it's worth it. So to me, when do I do all of this? When do I play my music? When do I play it with lots of effort? I play it when it matters the most. And then there are times if it doesn't matter, then I don't play it. My vocal teacher used to be even more dramatic than me. She used to always say, if it's not worth saying beautifully, then say nothing at all. Right? So I love it. And I just have this philosophy now in my mind that with the people I care about most, when I'm in conversations with them, I will give them all of me to the best of my ability. And I have my down days. I do. Please don't get me wrong. I have days where I show up and I'm not everything, but it's because I'm sick. It's because I didn't get enough sleep. It's because I burnt myself out. And that's human and it's normal. So just understand that's kind of my philosophy, and you can choose what your philosophy is. You can just pick one stage where it's important to you. You don't have to pick all the stages. It's up to you. It's your life. You get to decide that. Are any of these communication rules different when you're in a one-on-one conversation versus a small group versus a large group? Yes. And here's the simple rule you can follow that allows you to be able to be more situationally aware on how you can use your communication skills in each one of those different contexts. Here's the rule. It's very simple. Be as big as the room. That's it. be as big as the room. So for example, if I'm in a room with one person, right, and imagine I was being like, hey, it's great to see you. Oh my goodness, so good to be here. I'm so glad and absolutely pumped for us to have lunch together. Look at the chicken in that chicken sandwich. It looks delicious, doesn't it? That person's probably going to freak out a little bit and going, oh my God, I think Vin's on drugs, right? So that means you're being too big for that particular room. Whereas if I was being that version of me and there was 20,000 people in the audience, it's totally normal. If anything, your energy levels are a little bit flat, right? So you always have to adjust how big you're being based on the room and based on how many people there are. Whereas if I bring a really small version of myself, imagine I was in a stadium with 10,000 people and I came out, hi everyone, it's really good to be here. And I'm really excited to take you through. The only person that can get away with that is Eckhart Tolle.
Don't make an identity for them out of what they do. But don't deny it either. You don't say, oh no, this is fine, he just kills people, he's okay.
He's the only person that can get away with that. But most of us have to be as big as the room. Unless you're as enlightened as Eckhart Tolle, then sure, you can do the same thing. Right, so just make sure you adjust yourself. And here's a very insightful tip that took me a long time to learn. When you're communicating to the camera, when you're communicating on a virtual call, you have to match the energy level as if you're in a room with 5 to 10 people. So right now, I'm bringing you fairly high levels of energy, right? Because if I was talking to you like I talk to one person, it wouldn't be as engaging online. It wouldn't be as engaging through this lens. I have to bring a bigger version of myself. Because, for example, this is how I talk to one person, okay? Let me give you a sense, right? Because I always get this question. People are like, Vin, how do you normally talk? How do you normally talk? Because I will tell you that this is an archetype of mine. I put on a bigger version of me. I mean, I'm still the same me. I just amp it up a little more because I understand that to be influential and engaging in this particular medium, I have to bring it up a couple of notches. Whereas if I'm talking to one person, I can just talk like this. Like this is a lot easier for me to do, but it's one person, right? But if I did this for 2 hours with you, 2.5 hours with you online, all of a sudden it's not as engaging. It doesn't cause you to lean in as much. So I'm still the same person. I just got to amp it up a little bit more to bring you in. Because if I want to be effective on this medium, I can't stay where it's super cozy and comfortable. I have to amp it up. I do. Otherwise it's not as effective. Be as big as the room. I don't really look at the questions before, so I didn't know this one was coming, but okay, I like that you asked this. Anonymous asks, okay, so why did Vin go from blonde to black? Someone had to ask. I changed my hair to black because of mum. My mum asked me, son, can you dye your hair black again? You're a man in his mid-30s. You look like you belong in a gang like the Yakuza. And I was like, oh, well, fair call, mum, fair call. It's kind of true. Always get stopped by TSA and always get stopped by customs, so it's a good point. and then she said something hilarious. She goes, look, and then this one got me. Right? She goes, you couldn't give me a degree. Can you at least give me black hair? And I just thought, damn it, mum. I'll never get you that degree, so I will give you the black hair. And then I also realized at that point, I'm like, oh, I'm a dad now. Maybe I should tone it down a little bit. The last one from Anonymous says, why did you choose the name Vin? Why did you choose the name Vin? Some of you don't know this, but my birth name was Kwang. Then I changed it to Vin because I'd become so sick of who Kwang had become when I was 15. And I asked my parents to let me change my name legally, so I changed my name from Kwang to Vin. And the reason why I changed my name to Vin was because all of my uncles, all of my dad's brothers, right? My dad's got all brothers in the family. All of his brothers, and him included, they got different names, right? So my dad's name is Hugh, and then my uncle's name is Nhi, then Day, then Bei, all these different names, right? But then when people ask them what their name is, and maybe they're talking to someone from the Western culture, anytime any of them get asked what their name is, do you know what they say their name is? They say their name is Vin. And growing up, I looked up to my uncles and my dad so much because they were entrepreneurs, grassroots entrepreneurs, you know. They started their own family business. We started with a farm. Then after they worked at the farm, they started to see these grocery stores would come buy all their veggies and then sell their veggies for a markup. So they're like, maybe we should work hard and own our own grocery store and have our own farm so that we can benefit all of that. And then all of a sudden, they worked together really hard, all the brothers together, and then we owned an Asian grocery store, one of South Australia's first Asian grocery stores. Tan Yin Fak, for those of you who know, in South Australia, you know. Still own it, all the brothers. And what's really beautiful is I watched them all through their lives go from farming, grocery store, to owning restaurants, to owning pharmacies, to owning commercial property. So to me, they were my inspirations, and I wanted to become like them. When I grew up, I wanted to be a Vin because they were all so cool to me growing up. So I picked that name. And to this day, when you ask my uncles and everything what their name is, and you're a Caucasian, they'll say, oh, my name is Vin. Yeah, my name is Vin. So there you go. That's the story.